All right, guys, so here we go, Foxtail Meadows. I am so excited for this course and that it's finally here. It seems like it's been forever since we've gotten a new course in the game, so couldn't be more excited. Usually what I like to do with new courses is do kind of my initial impression, first time I've ever seen the course, how well I do. And I did that, but it was when it was first put out to the testers a little while ago. So I'll post that video as well, so check that out. There's just been some minor little changes. Just kind of updates, fixing bugs. For the most part, all the holes are the same distances, same tee boxes, maybe a couple minor changes here and there, but nothing super noticeable. But I did want to go through it again and get another video, since this is pretty much the final kind of version of what you guys are going to see. So first impression of the course, the description that they used is pretty accurate, and it says that the unique golf course transforms a winter ski resort into a summer haven, weaving through rolling fields of foxtail grass and towering wind turbines. Just be mindful of the unpredictable strong winds. So that kind of gives you an idea of what to expect. For me, this is like a combination of maybe like windswept fields, Ikigai Springs, and like a summer frozen valley, all kind of mixed together. So it's pretty awesome. I feel like right where it is in between Keho Backwoods and Frozen Valley is pretty accurate depiction of kind of the difficulty. It doesn't look like it's going to be too hard to get 3-star. This score kind of carried over from a previous version from my initial run through, and I scored 25, which is 10 under par. So as you can see here, I think it was 11 under at the time. They made one par 5 into a par 4, so that's kind of one of the biggest changes. But 9 under par is what's required for 3-star, and I don't think that's going to be too difficult. They got some pretty nice rewards. MD3 mid-range sticky. And this one a lot of people are excited about. The Diamond, new disc to the game, kind of comparable to the Shift, I believe. Just really understable and does not want to kind of fade back. Just holds it nice and straight once it turns. So keep an eye out. I'm not sure what their plans are for this disc, but pretty awesome that it's a 2-star reward here. And then a nice distance driver, Ballista Pro turn windbreak with a sweet stamp on it. And then there's a couple new badges, minus 13 or better to get this little icon ring, whatever you call that, little foxtail. Pretty sweet there. My understanding is foxtail is like the name of the grass that's kind of all over this course, and you'll see it right away. And then the other badge is finding this little fox. I haven't even looked for it yet. I just kind of like to come across these on my own. So keep an eye out for Tedious Triumph, finding the fox out there. But without further ado, I've been talking too much. Let's get into this round. Again, I've played it. It's not brand new to me. If you want to see my initial impression ever of the course, then check out that other video I posted. But this one, hopefully we can do pretty well. Again, I haven't spent a ton of time, but I do have some decent lines figured out. What I love about this course is it can play completely different. Each hole can play crazy different depending on what the wind is doing. I think there's 4 winds possible for all the holes, so you can imagine it can get pretty difficult. So here we go, hole number 1. This is a fun shot. Obviously it looks like a forehand shot off the tee. Backhand, you're just gonna end up way left if you don't hit it just right. So don't know why you'd even consider forehand or backhand here. This is a fairly neutral wind here. We're gonna go glide, skip, rive. I'm gonna try to do a little flex to it just because we don't have much of a tailwind. Try to get it up there as far as I can. So I'm gonna aim over around this rock with the top chevron and just put like some bunch of anhyzer on it. Give it time to kind of turn over, then hyzer up. Turn this a little too much, so this is not ideal, but we're still going to have a fairly reasonable look at eagle. Definitely aceable in big winds, not easy, but it's possible. But this should be, once you get kind of the hang of this hole, it should be eagle almost every time, in my opinion. Maybe those big 3 or 4 headwinds, it can get pretty tough. But neutral winds and tailwinds, you should be getting eagle here. 53 feet uphill. And I'm aiming high, so I don't have to add a lot of power to this. Oh, I don't know how that stayed in, just under the rim up there, but we get that eagle. Moving on to the first par 3 of the course. Dang, we get another big wind. So this hole, really tough to ace. Unfortunately, even in a calm wind, like a 1 wind, you can't get the ace with a fairway. If you have a big wind like this, I think it's aceable. But I'm not even going to try it in this wind. I'm just going to play this safe for the birdie. Even in a calm wind, if I'm just trying to play this safe, I'd aim about right here and maybe put like a touch of hyzer if it's a one wind. Obviously I can't do that in this wind, but in this wind, just to play it safe, sticky sapphire, aim a little lower and a little bit of anhyzer, and just try to get it inside that circle. This looks like it's on a great line. You can see as long as you can land it in, you're usually going to catch the barrier even if you're long. And there's our sweet basket placement right on top of the tractor there. Some of the testers actually pointed out they wish they would have put it like on the front of the tractor and left the seat in place. That way it kind of just gives you the impression that someone's walking around, driving the tractor around, adjusting the basket placement. Kind of a cool thought. But for now, there it is. And we get a nice birdie in a difficult wind. Let's see if we get a little better wind on the next hole. All right, moving on to hole number 3, par 4. Lots of options with this hole. I'm kind of actually a little disappointed. They could have made it a little more difficult, but the winds actually do that for them. So I think that's the idea here. If you had a nice calm one wind, basically you can just go default aim, glide, skip, drive, put a little bit of hyzer on it, and it should get you down there by the basket. All kinds of things you can do, backhand, different lines you can do along the right side there, but we're going to still stick with this default aim, glide, skip, drive. In this wind, I think, let's see, I think we're just going to stick with default and just add some hyzer and hopefully get down there and still get a look. So I'll go about right there, try to counter that 3 wind right to left. This is probably one of the more difficult winds for this hole. And let's see if we get a good skip. Even with a good skip, oh, we get caught up in the rock there. So obviously I make it not look very easy, but in calm winds it's going to be pretty easy to get all the way down there by the basket for an easy eagle. But as soon as you get those difficult winds, it definitely amps up the difficulty level. So we're not going to try to make this, we're just going to try to throw this down there for the easy birdie. And there you go. But it's definitely a fun looking hole. You can ace it like with a backhand around the entire, all the trees and everything, but it's not easy and it's super risky. But that forehand default line is pretty simple with a one wind. So I wish they'd put some more obstacles in place there, but for now, again, I feel like the wind provides all the obstacle you need on this course, and that's the great thing about it. Next one, we got a par 5. This is definitely a fun hole. All right, we got a one wind. Finally a wind I can kind of show you the lines I've been working on, because I haven't really focused a whole lot in the more difficult winds. This one, you got that nice straight fairway to start, and then once you get farther down, it kind of splits. There's a right-sided fairway and a left-sided fairway. I like to go the right path. I feel like you get a little better look at the basket, and if you can get a great tee shot, you can actually have a decent look for an albie throw in, which is awesome. But this should be an eagle for sure. You can probably go fairway a couple times and get an easy eagle, but that's no fun. We're going forehand, glide, skip, drive. We're going to try to basically turn it through this gap and then around and start fading into that right-sided path. So slide left, bottom chevron right on the corner of that rock there, and we're going to do almost a full anhyzer. Looks pretty good, a little bit too far left. Hopefully we get a big skip to the right. Oh, okay, that tree kind of helps us actually. So a little bit overturned, but it actually had a good result. You can get like within like 250 depending on what the wind is doing, and there's really not a whole lot of danger by running this shot. Obviously a lot of kind of trees in the way, so it's definitely not an easy throw in, but you don't have to worry about getting in a lot of trouble. If I miss this, I'm still pretty confident I'm going to save my eagle. But 300 feet, I think we're going to go sticky sapphire, and we're just going to try to aim a little higher and let it kind of fade into the basket. That's the goal here. See how close we can get. Drop. Oh, too far. Oh, we hit the pole. It's definitely fun to run it. As you can see, I can't really show you, but if I would have gone long there, there's really just not a lot of danger, and you can usually save it no matter where you miss. So fun hole there. It's always fun to have a little bit of a run for Albie, but you got to hit your drive just right. But that should pretty much be an eagle every time, I think. But again, just like the other holes, big winds can make these holes much more challenging. Now, hole number 5. Ooh, we got another tough wind. So this kind of gives me Frozen Valley 9 vibes a little bit. You can see the Mando up there, and then it really like drops off down to a hill to the left where the basket's down there, and kind of a tight little circle down there. So it's a really tough eagle to get. Watch my first video. I was able to drop in the eagle for the very first time I played this hole, which was pretty exciting. I think some people were figuring out some roller lines to where you can get it to roll just around the corner. I tried it a few times, but it's pretty tough. And even if you can get around the corner, you're worried about it rolling out of bounds as well. So I just feel like the best play is to try to get it just around the right side of the Mando. But more than likely, you're not going to get it down the hill at all, unless you get like a really big helping wind. This wind is not a helping wind, so I'm really not planning on trying to get it down the hill. I'm just trying to get it past the Mando. So I'm going to go glide, skip, rise, slide left. We're going to aim like right at the Mando and let this wind kind of turn it. I don't want to end up in that grass at all. 1, it's OB, and 2, it really grabs your disc quite a bit. So try to stay away from that. Let's see here. With this wind, we're going to go about a disc of anhyzer. Should really push it to the right, and then just kind of hold it nice and straight. Uh-oh. Big skip. Get me around. So just missed the corner there, unfortunately. Now you can at least see around. You can see it doesn't take much to go long. You can see those little OB stakes, so you don't really want to go long here. I'm going to throw my only sticky putter, which is the harp. Actually, I'm going to throw the Sphea. Forgot this bag I have the sticky Sphea. So we're just going to throw this straight up in the air, probably about like 140 power, 150 power, and just let it float down there towards the basket. Not the best shot, but it's safe and we get the birdie. But you can see that hole has all kinds of potential to provide some challenging fun, depending on what the wind's doing. Maybe get an eagle, but it's a tough one to get. It's hard to really get around that corner. Now this one, it's one of the par 3s that I'm most excited about. Not the best wind, unfortunately, to show, but I am going to show you my ace line. Again, stay tuned for another video showing all the aces for the 3 par 3s, but this is the line I'm going to use. You can see just past the basket it's out of bounds, so it's really hard to go right at it and stay safe. It's pretty much impossible to actually do that, so I was able to somehow find a line that I really like and gives you a chance at the ace, and for the most part it keeps you in bounds. So slide right, forehand, skip sapphire, anywhere along this tree, but with this wind I'm actually going to slide a little farther right. Then we're going to do quite a bit of anhyzer. Hopefully go just left of this tree. Oh man. So we need to hit a little bit up to the left on that hill that I hit, but you can see I ended up safe. But there's the line. Again, stay tuned for the ace video. It's a line I'm really excited about, and a hole that I'm really excited about. I think most people are just going to toss it up there for a safe birdie, but it's always nice to have some sort of a fun ace line that's pretty safe. 69 feet up the hill. Uh-oh. That wasn't good. We're taking par there, but 69 feet, got to be able to make that one. Just kind of lost my focus there. Back-to-back par 3s though. Different ways you can go. It says 261, but it takes pretty much all the disc you have in your bag to get there. It plays way uphill, and there's a creek that kind of swerves in and out right in front of the green. So it can be a challenging hole, but I feel like the perfect disc for this hole is a PD2. So what we're going to do here is we're going to aim in between this rock here and these trees here, about right there. Maybe a touch of anhyzer just to miss this tree here, but if I can get right of this tree, then you're pretty much going to end up safe. So that's the goal here. Touch of anhyzer. See if we can scare the basket here. Get around the tree. Oh, we almost got it. But you can see there, I really like that shot. No matter where you miss it, as long as you don't hit that tree, it's a pretty safe bid up here, and you should be able to have a good look for birdie. Definitely a fun hole, cool looking par 3. Lots of different ways. You can go forehand, backhand, you can go skip over the creek. You can lay it up short of the creek and have a pretty easy throw in for birdie. Lots of different options there, but that's what I decided to do with my little new toy, the PD2. Alright, holes 8 and 9. Definitely some fun finishing holes. As you can see here, looking at the mini map, you got a really tight double mando, which makes this interesting. I think this was a par 5 when it first came out, and then they decided to change it to a par 4. So this is going to be a really tough eagle to get. Maybe in calm winds you can kind of fine tune a line to get it through those mandos, but I wouldn't recommend it unless you really put some time and practice into getting that line figured out. But the best line that I found is a backhand glide sapphire. This wind is not the best for it, but we're still going to go for it. We're going to go bottom chevron just under that tree here, and then we're going to turn it over almost a full flex, and it should have plenty of distance, and just try to set us up. Don't hit that tree. Okay. Oh no. Oh man, get over the creek. Oh wow. Okay, I turned that way too much, but that ended up absolutely perfect. Again, that wasn't the best wind for it, but it worked out well. So you can see how tight these mando trees are. If you want to try to hit that in the air, by all means go for it, but it's a tough shot to hit. So I'm basically just playing for birdie here. 258. I'm just gonna toss a forehand harp down the hill and play this for birdie. It's not a hole I've practiced enough to really figure out a good eagle play. I think it's going to be one of the tougher eagles, other than the par 3s, of course, but still a really fun looking hole, especially when you account for that double mando. And then you start getting big winds involved, and it's going to be that much more challenging. I feel like that's going to be one of the biggest separator holes on this course for sure. And then, last but not least, hole number 9. This hole is a bomber. Kind of gives me a little bit of a Northern Lights 3 vibe. You can see the basket way down there across the water. I don't really have a play figured out yet. I think like a glide turn rive is probably my best bet here. And that's what I'm going to do here. I think either that or like a big flex with the glide skip rive. But depending on what the wind, it's going to really change what you do off the tee here. So I'm going to go, I think with this tailwind especially, the glide turn is going to carry pretty far. So we're going to aim kind of low. Trying to remember what I did here. I think I'm going to slide to the right just to open up the gap a little and try to turn it around that pole there. Let's try that here. Don't want to turn it too much into that other group of trees. I was afraid to turn it into those trees, and I did not turn it enough. Still going to get over that little wall there, but it's going to be quite a bit farther left than I would have liked. And we're going to have, no, we might have got out in the open a little bit. I don't think there's mandos. Oh, that's okay. That's the hole we just played. I'm like, I see those mando signs. And you can see that's the fairway of the last hole. So 388. This is a par 5. If you hit a shot just right, you can see that wall down there by the water. It can basically stop your drive, but it's really hard to get it down that far, and then you have a pretty good look at Albie. That's a really tough shot. So I feel like this is a pretty good drive. Anything through that gap and down this far to where you can get across in your second shot is definitely acceptable in my eyes. We got 388. My goal is just going to be try to get it anywhere inside that wall down there that surrounds the basket. So here we go, 388. I think we're going to go Vandal here. If I throw this straight, it should kind of start to fade towards the end. Maybe a touch of hyzer. Come on, fade on me. So not the best bid, but up here by the basket we get a nice eagle, and that is such a fun hole. So there you go, guys. There is Foxtail Meadows. See what we shot. We had that one par, so we shot 24. Man, I think had we gotten the birdie there instead of missed that 60-footer, that would have been a 23 and minus 12. I think that would have got us the badge. So we just missed that badge there. Oh no, minus 13. So we were a little bit off there. So challenging to get that little icon border. But man, such a fun course. I hope you guys enjoy it. Again, stay tuned for my video showing the 3 ace lines on the par 3s. And I can't wait to play this course some more and fine-tune some of these lines, practice in some of the bigger wins. And more than anything, I can't wait till this pops up in multiplayer. But there you go, guys. Can't wait for you guys to try this new course. So excited. I'm sure you guys are excited as well. And as always, thanks for watching me play some DGV.